In this video, we're going to talk about why we avoid uncomfortable feelings, why we even run psychological strategies to avoid these uncomfortable feelings, and how we disconnect with other people and ourselves by doing that, and how we can transform the fears and anxieties that are behind that behavior, behind this avoiding mechanism, how we can transform them to connect much more deeply and authentically with other people and ourselves. And hey, if this is the first time that we meet, I'm Jonas Erb, and on this channel we talk about authenticity and personal growth. We provide tools and ideas that help you gain clarity, freedom, and fulfillment in your life. If you haven't yet, consider subscribing. So there's a magical moment in conversation with other people where we start to feel a little bit uncomfortable. And I'm not talking about the weird kind of like uncomfortable feeling, like the creepy feeling when you're talking to someone you really don't want to talk to. I'm talking about this slight uncomfortable feeling when there's like a pause or a break in the conversation, a silence in the conversation, and you start to feel a little bit uncomfortable, wanting to jump in to avoid the tension. Or maybe you have an impulse to do or say something, and you feel a little bit uncomfortable. Or maybe you are with other people and you you kind of like feel a little bit challenged, or you're in an unknown situation and you revert back to your script of like telling funny stories, making jokes, and trying to kind of like be the cool guy and the funny guy or the funny girl. Or maybe you're kind of like going out of the situation because you're feeling a little bit uncomfortable and you're just hiding out of the situation. And so what's happening there is like these are psychological strategies that get activated, that are activating inside of us, but not out of choice, but out of like trying to cope with the situation, because we don't know how to cope with the situation. And so these are oftentimes actually strategies that have been developed when we were younger and we didn't know how else to deal with the situation, and these were like the best ways to deal with the situation. But oftentimes these days, these are not the best ways to deal with the situation anymore, and they really make us lose freedom. They make us lose freedom and also our ability to really authentically act in the world. And so what I would invite you to do is to see those moments actually as these magical moments of where you realize that you can create something new, that you can actually start to act in a different way, and you don't have to avoid this uncomfortable feeling and run these strategies. And so how we can do that is by actually, first of all, really connecting to this uncomfortable feeling we feel in that very moment. Because this uncomfortable feeling is like us sitting on the edge of our comfort zone, feeling that there's something we might want to do or might want to not do, and being in that situation makes us feel a little bit uncomfortable. And then to not have to go into that feeling, we run a certain strategy. But by doing that, we're not acting out of what is really our truth, what we really want to do in that moment, but we're rather doing what we think we have to do so we don't feel uncomfortable. And so the first step really there is to feel the feeling and start to increase the resolution on this feeling. How can I feel this feeling more closely? Because oftentimes it is something there, it feels uncomfortable, we're trying to go away from it, hide from it, and kind of like go away from that feeling. And so once we start to connect to it and see, okay, first of all, what kind of quality of feeling is it? Is it more like a clenching feeling? Is it more like a tugging feeling? Is it more like a heaviness? What kind of feeling is it? What's the quality of the feeling? How does it feel like? Is it kind of warm, kind of cold? And then also, where do I feel it in the body? Is it in my stomach? Is it in my heart? Is it in where exactly is the feeling? And let's start to kind of connect into it, and rather from like a feeling perspective. You can also like go down with your eyes or with your head. And really point your attention, your feeling into your body. Don't try to like feel it and look upwards like this, because then you're pointing your energy outside. So really feel inside of the feeling. And that's really the first step, because then we start to actually feel what's happening. And then making ourselves aware of that actually we have a choice how we want to act in that very moment. And if we start to be able to relax a little bit into that uncomfortable feeling, we're gonna be able to open up into what we really want to do. Say, stay half a second, 1 second, 2 seconds longer in this silence, in the conversation, and just see what happens. What happens if I stay in there a little bit longer? What if I feel that impulse to make these funny jokes, and I just feel inside of myself, what do I really want to do? I might maybe not tell this joke, but maybe stay more connected and stay on a topic that is more actually dear to my heart, where I'm connecting more rather than kind of like jumping out of this connection by making jokes. Or maybe I'm sitting next to my crush and I feel this impulse and I want to put my hand onto her hand or his hand, and I feel this uncomfortable feeling. Maybe I can just feel this feeling a little bit more, relax into that feeling a little bit more, make myself aware that I don't have to avoid this as I might do with using this by actually letting this strategy run, but rather can relax into that. And this is how we open ourselves up to transform these anxieties and fears that are behind them. Because these are the moments, when you feel this uncomfortable feeling, these are the moments where your fears and anxieties show up. And this is energy stuck in your body that wants to be released. These are patterns that want to actually be felt and experienced and released. And in those moments, we can actually feel them and release them and get more free. And if you do that, you will start to notice that you get much more alive, much more awake, much more connected with yourself and also with other people. Because this authentic connection is only happening if you're doing what you really want to do, if you're following your deepest inner true impulse and not just this strategy that you've been running all your life. So that is a very key moment. So I really invite you to go deeper and exploring that moment, exploring the feeling and just being more aware of when is that strategy being activated. When am I again going into this strategy? And you will know your strategies. Let me know in the comments, what are your strategies that you use when you feel this uncomfortable feeling? And if you really go there, you will start to see, okay, that's the strategies and that's why I'm not getting what I want, or this is why I'm not in the situations that I want to be, because I keep falling back into these strategies. And the more you get aware of these moments when this happens, the feeling in that moment and the moment when it happens, the more you're able to extend this moment of realization and feeling the feeling, the easier it is to transform this so you don't fall into these strategies, but rather connect with yourself and with other people on a much deeper level. So this is what I wanted to say in this video. If you liked the video, please hit the like button. And if you haven't yet, please consider supporting my channel by subscribing to my channel and turn on notifications if you want to be notified when new videos are going to come out. And hey, there are so many videos on this channel. I invite you to check out some more of them. This one is the one that YouTube thinks you would like the most. And this one is our most recent video. So have fun watching and have a great day. Goodbye.